Welcome to Fashion, Faith, and Flair. And today's fashion message is I don't need a body image meeting with myself. I heard someone share that at a 12-step meeting for people who have issues with food. And I laughed and I thought, that is a great line. Let me go ahead and research this. And so I found 10 tips for body positivity. And I want to go over those today with you. The first one is appreciate all your body can do. Celebrate all the amazing things that your body does, like running, dancing, breathing, laughing. When I think back to when I was over 300 pounds, my body didn't move very fast, but I could still walk. Did I breathe? Yes. Not really well, but I could still breathe. And when I think of the amazing things that I can do today, I embrace it. Now, all those years of overeating and the damage that I did to my organs, as well as the damage I did to my skin, I can't change that. But it is a reminder to me that I don't want to go back to the way things are. So it's almost like my battle scars. I think of it that way, and I still am able to find positivity in that. You know what? I may not understand. Well, I understand. I may not like what I did to my body, but it still works. It still works, and it's so much better. 5 years ago, I went to Israel with a church group, and we were at underground caves. And as I was walking through those caves, I thought, oh my God, I would have never been able to do this where I was before. I am so grateful of the body that I have today because I can see these wonderful sights and be able to walk and get around and enjoy what Israel has to offer. So that's just one example. The second tip is keep a top 10 list of things you like about yourself. Things that aren't related to what you weigh or what you look like. And one of the things I love about myself is that I'm able to talk to people no matter where they come from, what background they have. If our stories are completely different, I can still connect with that person. And even if there's a language difference, I can still manage to communicate. I remember years ago, back in 1995, I went to Paris, France. I'd never been over to Europe before. It was my first trip. And I didn't speak French that well. I mean, I'd had it in college and I had it in high school, but that means nothing. I even did listen to tapes and tried to prepare myself to go over to France by myself. And believe me, once you're in a culture, you'll learn the language quicker than actually studying it in a classroom. But anyway, I did my best to try to speak French. And so one day I got lost and I didn't know how to get back to the hotel. And I remember I asked this guy on the street, and he didn't speak very much English, and I didn't speak great French, but I made the attempt to speak French, and he made the attempt to speak English, and he was giving me directions with his body language. He was pointing, he was acting like he was walking, and then he put his hands up and like 3, meaning 3 minutes it would take me. And I was able to actually figure out what he was saying and actually find where I needed to go. And so that's just an example of one thing that I like about myself. And so if you keep a list of things you like about yourself, then it will actually take your mind off of what your body looks like and your weight and that kind of thing. So the third tip is remind yourself that true beauty is not simply skin deep. Beauty is a state of mind. It's not the state of your body. It's how you feel on the inside. And I can tell you that if you change how you are on the inside, it will help change the outside. And we all go through bad times. So there are stages of life where we go through things, whether it's a death in the family or a divorce or, any kind of tragedy. And so grieving is natural and depression is natural. It's if we're living in it and we're not trying to change the inside. If you change your inside, your outside will change. At least it did for me. When I got back into recovery 7 years ago, I had the gift of desperation. And I didn't care if I ever released another pound. As I've said before, I say release because if I say lose, I'll find it. What I cared about was I wanted emotional and spiritual sobriety. And with those things, I got the gift of physical recovery. So I was all about what can I change about the inside of me so the outside will change. So I can say that beauty comes in different sizes, it comes in different ages, beauty is the total essence of people. And I truly believe that. So don't just look at the outside and think that if I change all the outside, it's going to make the inside okay. They go hand in hand. You can have all the plastic surgery in the world. If you don't heal what's going on inside, it's not going to make a difference. It may work for a while, but it's not going to last a lifetime. The next tip is look at yourself as a whole person. When you see yourself in a mirror or in your mind, choose not to focus on specific body parts. See yourself as you want others to see you, as a whole entire person. We're not all just what we look like on the outside. There's so much more to us. And so it is important to look at all the part of you, your spiritual self, your mind, your body, all go hand in hand. Now, I know that when I did weigh over 300 pounds, I was in complete denial about how big my body was. And I chose to look only at my face because I didn't want to face up to my body. And so once I was forced to, and I say forced because I had a health scare, so that sent me to a physician, and I had to get on the scales. I had to face up to it. And so it was part of my recovery was, okay, here's where I'm at. What can I do to change it? Because nothing has ever worked for me that I've done before. What can I do differently this time? And it took me a couple years before I was willing to do something different other than a diet, but that's a whole nother story. So the fifth one is surround yourself with positive people. This is huge. My mother used to say, show me your friends, tell me who you are. Now, as I said before, we can all go through bad times and we're not always, happy, cheery, all that good stuff. But if you are continually around people who whine, who bitch, who complain, if you're a whiner or you bitch or you complain, you might want to have a meeting with yourself about, okay, am I bringing people down or am I being an encouragement? And you don't want to be codependent with other people. So if your friends are whiny and they're negative and they're actually not making you feel good about yourself, if they're giving you digs, anything like that, you might want to rethink those people that you call your tribe, your friends. It's a suggestion, and I think it's a good one. The sixth one tip is shut down those voices in your head that tell you your body's not right and that you're a bad person. You can overpower those thoughts with positive thoughts. I mean, I give you an example. I can't change where I've walked before. I can't change that. I can learn from it. And I can also count the blessings that I have. I mean, making a gratitude list, it's just being appreciative of what you do have. I'll give you an example. So, being that I put my body through a lot with the excessive weight, my arms, the skin on my arms are stretched, even though I work out a few times a week and I love to lift weights. It is what it is. And so what I do is, first of all, I'm grateful that it reminds me where I've walked, because if I don't remember my past, I'm doomed to repeat it. The other thing is I look at it like, you know what? My arms work. They move. They're functional. I'm able to do things. And I thank God that I have arms. So I look at the positive of things. And I think that's important to just any negative thoughts that come to mind, just cancel them out with positive thoughts. The next tip is wear clothes that are comfortable and make you feel good about your body. Do not wear clothes that are too tight. You want to have a bad day, wear clothes that no longer fit. If they don't fit, put them away and give them 9 months. And if they don't fit 9 months, then someone else needs to be wearing those clothes and be blessed by them. Also, I've said before, don't wear clothes that are 3-4 sizes too big. I did that for many years, trying to basically be in denial about how large my body was, thinking that the bigger they were, the more comfortable I was. Well, it looked ridiculous. So looking back, were they comfortable? I guess at the time they served a purpose. But the main thing is to be comfortable in your clothing. And if you feel beautiful, wear the clothes. Don't let your friends decide what you can wear. Just really feel beautiful in what you wear, and comfort is key to that. Now, this one is one of the most important tips. I can't stress this one enough, and that is ignore social media and advertising messages saying that you have to look a certain way. Before social media and back in the day when you could get actual physical magazines, I stopped buying them in my 20s. Now, I was a professional plus model during that time, and that was a hard enough thing to do anyway, because you want to compare yourself to other people, try to be in a room with other models. But I learned that I didn't need a magazine to tell me all the things that were wrong with me and how to improve them. I mean, we all know that obviously people are trying to sell things, but you don't have to put yourself through that. So don't look at things that make you feel less than. You just need to shut it down. That's the most simplest way to say it, is that if you start comparing yourself to others or advertisements or people, you'll be miserable. So shut it down. Number 9, this tip is good because it helps to treat your body like it matters, and that's do something special for it. Whether that's taking a bubble bath or being outside in nice weather or taking a nap during the day, anything that you can do to treat your body nicely, that helps. The last tip is use your time and energy that you might spend worrying about food, calories, your weight, to do something to help others. Now, I can tell you that before getting into recovery, I was for a couple years in the diet mode. And I was very obsessed with keeping calories on a phone app and weighing myself, was the number moving? And due to circumstances that happened in my life, I had the gift of desperation, and I also had a health scare. So, it made me face up to where I was at, which that was the first step. But unfortunately, for a couple years, I was trying to go back to the dieting route. And when I had some things happen in my own life, I just realized, you know what? I need to go back to 12-step recovery because I can't do this alone. And if I never release another pound, I don't care. I just want spiritual and emotional sobriety. And so I went back, and that was my goal. What do I have to do so that I can help heal what's going on inside of me, and that I can have a new spiritual awakening? I mean, I had a spiritual awakening when I was in college, and I asked Christ into my heart, and he never went anywhere. I turned my back on him many times, but he never went anywhere. But I needed to have another spiritual awakening to that relationship. And so the one thing that the tips that I found to promote better body positivity was to the more you practice new thought patterns, the better you feel about who you are and the body that you naturally have. And so, was it natural for me to have that body? No, but it was the body that I had at the time. And so, what that meant was reaching out to people. The disease of food addiction is very self-centered. It's a very self-centered, isolating disease, and it is a disease. It's not a disgrace, it's a disease. And to say that people can have willpower, there go by the grace of God you. If you don't have this issue, then count yourself blessed. And what I can say is that what has helped me these last 7 years was to be in a community of people, to reach out to people, to help others, to give service. And it took my mind off of myself, and it helped me focus to help others of what I had freely been given. And it's a one day at a time journey. And so I am a firm believer that body positivity starts with us. And I hope that some of these suggestions that I've made today will be a blessing to you. I would appreciate it. If you like the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to subscribe, I publish videos twice a week. And I hope that you have a body positive day today.